Part 3, You and your C197 self-counterparts. Every single individual in this dimension 1218's Earth has a self-counterpart of same, similar, or different personality, traits and situations. I, myself, have my self-counterpart, but of differing life situations, amongst which was her having spent most of her life in the city of Cookville, VA, and was mayor of the city for about a decade. Also, she, before coming out as a trans woman, used to be really horny all of the time and wanting to get with women. Fortunately, as creator of the nation of Cookville and its city of the same name, and having much higher authority over even the mayoral or local political status, I had created a law that was put retroactively into effect in 1980, where Christie was to never to have sexual intercourse with anyone until after the end of her time as mayor, which by then, turned out, she came into her womanhood, so fatefully, that did end up working out. But I digress. Typically, everyone's respective self-counterpart, behaves and acts according to the subconscious thoughts of you all, matching and respectively, 1:1. Here is where and when it can differ, if you are an artist, creator, writer, etc., or you are known to have a very powerful imagination and psychic link to your self-counterpart and seeing things through their eyes. Even as you, yourself, dream and daydream, and you have created at least one OC, or original character. When you create your OC, and really make it stand out, albeit existing in the same timeline as this one, or existing in somewhere totally different, as well as where, like on the Earth, or any one of the other planets, same as this galaxy, or some new planet, like at the planet Dolan, which does exist in C197 near Saturn, there, or even in an alternate dimension/reality differing from the settings and events that have been 1:1. Between both here, dimension 1218, and C197. Your OC, spawned of or from your self-counterpart there, will exist in C197, if nothing is specified, or somewhere/somewhen different if specified. And where or when you mainly have your OC located. Your self-counterpart becomes your main, or one, OC. Please, pardon me, as I will be naming a few other creators with their counterparts, please, do not disturb them in spamming communications and emails to any of them. Thank you. Dr. Wolf, or rather his human/creator. Created the Dr. Wolf character to reside in Equestria, yet he is capable of traveling to C197, like every other Equestrian, through a portal, or some metaphysical thing beyond me at the moment. The Dr. Wolf in Equestria is the one self-counterpart of his matching human, here. At Amy Methvenart, aka the Mad Munchkin, when she created Maddie of Equestria, she was created from Amy's self-counterpart. So, the Mad Munchkin of Equestria is Amy's self-counterpart. Anyone else created by Amy, like Mary Sue, is, or are, not her self-counterpart. This is one example where if you have more than one OC, you understand and realize that only one of your OCs literally is your self-counterpart. And the list goes on. KP, of at I Love KP a lot, her self-counterpart is her MLP OC Danger Dolan, his sailor hat wearing, white naked. Creation is his self-counterpart, living on planet Dolan in C197. At the real Stan Lee, since he puts himself in about everything at Marvel, the Stan Lee in C197, or wherever the hell he is around there, is his self-counterpart, aside from all of the other Marvel branded individuals he had created, like Tony Stark, Peter Quill, Bruce Banner, etc., Stan Lee remains at the real Stan Lee's self-counterpart. All that just to name a few. Again, please do not spam or pester or bully any of these people. Anyway, with all of us creators and our self-counterparts, who now visually, situationally, or personality-wise, even slightly differ from ourselves, we are capable to coexist and interact with them, respectively, without any cosmic repercussions. Now, the rest of the population of 1218's Earth, this is where the whole paradox rule and theory, as portrayed in #Futurama and other media, comes into play. Your respective, individual self-counterparts in C197 are living either 1:1 with yourself, personally, situationally, and so forth, or super close in similarity, in their lives. As you and everyone else who does not have at least one OC aside from those there who may have vastly differing situations and so forth from yourselves, all things considered and beknownst to Immanuel, Jesus, the cosmos, and so forth amongst us deities, I am still in training at novice level, so I only know up to the certain level of the situation and who's gonna stay or go that I consciously or subconsciously am able to know, so please no questions on very specifics to me. Also, there is the very small total worldwide percentage of 1218's Earth who has no existing self-counterpart in C197 at all. Anyway, here is the lowdown and no sugar-coated gonna happen. Those of you all who are not fated to make it throughout the #dimensional merge will face one of two methods of the paradox effect. 1. You might simply die in some inexplicable, subtle, horrific, or, insert adjective here, death, that will be simply unavoidable. Personally, even I, myself, in empathy, feel just as shocked typing and reading that, as you are, and I am really, truly sorry. Or 2, and I am optimistic towards this outcome, you might merge with your self-counterpart, with your respective consciousness and personalities becoming one, and very likely unchanged in perspective. This ruling and outcome also applies to all of the animals and objects of this world that has a matching counterpart in the Earth of C197. Animals and objects are likely to merge with their counterparts. Some of the animals' self-counterparts being amongst the Pokemon there, which that form will supersede their forms of here. Now, for the even more grim part, mentioning of those who are amongst those on the chopping block. Again, these type of people have been fated to either die or merge, unavoidable, during the #dimensional merge. But after, I'll talk about amongst those who survive. As I had mentioned earlier, among those left behind are those who really have been mean and cruel to others in the past, and remain consistent on that, up to the point of hatred being like a fetish to them. Then there's all of the currently active in office politicians and delegates. Typically, I do foresee more likely they'll merge with their self-counterparts, but some of this world or C197 will die, with the other being faithfully still alive to resume in the other's place. And, here is one major spoiler alert, as his C197 counterpart has been making the more positive choices and decisions that he should have done, here, this Earth's current POTUS, at real Donald Trump, is fated to die, and not merge with his counterpart. And C197's Donald Trump has been consistently and continually kind to the SLGBTQ, the center citizens and veterans, as well as the immigrants, never acted on that Mexico wall, period, and he certainly never deported or banished anyone from the USA, there. Also, on the chopping block are the individual world leaders. About half of the total number of the world's soldiers are there as well, regardless of country, nation, religion, race, orientation, and so forth. Also, people of the businesses and corporations whose sole motivation is money and selfishness. But, in total, no less, but more than 40% of the total worldwide population will either merge with their self-counterparts or die. And now the optimistic outlook, who survives? Everyone who does not have a self-counterpart in C197, everyone who has at least one OC created, by themselves, respectively, here, children under 12 years old will very likely survive, those with positivity, kindness, goodwill, optimism, can-do spirit, and motivation, sense of good justice, and other goodness in their hearts, souls, and beings, all creators, writers, artists, voice actors, and so forth on animation and entertainment behind the scenes, whose motivation has been, moreover, for the art, the soul, and heart, and so forth, rather than the money or fame and infamy, of it all. They will survive. Hallelujah! But, I digress. And now, a note to everyone, in general, on this world, but in particular those at risk. If you have done more bad than good in your lives, there is still time to make amends and apologize to everyone you have wronged, including to yourself. There is also time to simply take part in local community events in kindness and goodwill to make up for the bad. Continue with your works and crafts, fellow creators. Y'all are able to communicate with your OCS and self counterparts, even create a home space with or nearby them for yourself. But, most importantly, keep thinking, and use your common sense, knowledge, and wisdom to keep yourselves safe and well. Enjoy your life. That's all for now. Or Magi-chan, may or will have more on all this very soon. Thank you all. I learned that my counterpart is actually the president for life of C-197. As a result, my counterpart has agreed to build a wall between our dimensions to prevent the calamity from occurring. There is no need to worry that these two dimensions should merge people. No.